father, Carl, share. He's a loyal husband to his wife, Carol, whom he's been married to for nearly 40 years. Lyle is a creature of habit, whose daily routine is to come home from work, fix himself a drink, eat dinner, and then spend his evenings watching television.
Throughout the whole investigation, I did not hear one bad thing about Lyle. He was a great guy, great uncle, good person, very hardworking.
And this is my first video to use the new tripod.
Is a woman of many trades. She's taken on several careers throughout the years, including owning a restaurant, which burned to the ground in the 1980s. In October of 2012, she works at a local grocery store, a pizza place, and she cleans houses. She builds up her reputation around town as a hard worker, someone willing to take on many tasks at once, a trait both her and Lyle possess. And for all their hard work, the Kopinkoskis reward themselves with the things they love most in life.
Their idea of fun was heading to Michigan Speedway to see all of the auto races or NASCAR. They kept to themselves. They were definitely family-driven people.
By all accounts, the Kopinkoskis are like any other married couple. But their world is tragically rocked on a cruel fall day in October of 2012. Earlier in the day, on October 2nd, 2012, Carl passes his brother's truck, which is parked down a country road.
Carl is Lyle's brother who lives a quarter mile away from where the truck was located, saw Lyle's truck and did not see Lyle.
He slows and examines the scene. Assuming his brother has gone hunting, Carl continues on, but keeps the image in his head throughout the rest of the day. Carol arrives home around 9 p.m. after working all day. Immediately, she notices Lyle's truck is nowhere to be seen. When she enters the house, she finds that Lyle isn't in his usual spot, watching television. She calls out for her husband, but no one answers. Worry then starts to set in, which is only amplified when she listens to the unheard messages left on her voicemail. They're all from Lyle's boss. Lyle didn't show up for work that day.
Lyle worked for many, many, many years, and by all accounts was a great employee. Very consistent, reliable, didn't call in sick, never missed days of work, was always on time.
Carol calls Carl, asking if he's seen Lyle. Carl hasn't, until he remembers passing by Lyle's truck earlier in the day.
They lived out in the country, and, it was not near a lot of other houses or anything like that. There was a lot of space in between them and any neighbors. And Lyle's brother actually discovered the truck there and stopped, I believe, in the evening. It was obviously highly suspicious that his brother's truck was still there many hours later on the side of the road.
And that's when the call came in that we possibly had a missing person.
The small police force of Petoskey arrive at the scene. Aside from what looks to be an abandoned vehicle, nothing appears out of ordinary at first. There are no noticeable signs of a struggle, no apparent bloodstains, and no visible weapons. Though the scenario of what's happened is still uncertain, authorities know time is of the essence. They need to find Lyle, and fast, so they call in reinforcements.
At that point, they called out the search and rescue team, where they then would comb what was literally cow pastures, looking for a body, looking for a weapon, looking for any type of evidence that would show Lyle's whereabouts.
With police at the scene working to piece together the events of that night, investigators head to the Kopinkoski home, where Carol nervously waits. Carol tells the authorities her and Lyle spent some time in their second home in Allenson, about 20 minutes from Petoskey, over the weekend. When they returned on Sunday night, there was something different about Lyle. Something was off.
She explained to me the night before that Lyle had been drinking. Lyle had what she had termed was hallucinating, and she was basically babysitting him.
According to Carol, Lyle mixed alcohol with his depression and anxiety medication the night before, rendering him in a strange, hallucinatory state.
In his intoxication, he was falling over chairs, had walked behind a television. She had even mentioned that he possibly was going to the bathroom behind the television, really acting erratic. During the time of babysitting him, he had mentioned that he wanted to go to work. He needed to go to work. Well, this was at 2 o'clock in the morning. So she kept trying to get him to go back to bed. But she did make a lunch, as she says she does every day, and make coffee and try to wait it out until it was time for him to actually go to work.
Carol tells officers she returns home Monday evening and only then learns that Lyle didn't make it to work. She calls Carl to see if Lyle is over there. That phone call triggers Carl to investigate his brother's truck. Carol fears the worst. Lyle's depression has worsened over the past little while. What if Lyle has taken his own life? Meanwhile, investigators at the scene continue to scour every fragment of land for something, anything that could lead them to Lyle. But hours have passed, and they're no closer to finding him. Spirits are beginning to dwindle.
I think they were just trying to piece together what happened. I don't know if they thought it might be a suicide even.
Then, at approximately 12:30 a.m. on October 3rd, 2012, Lyle's body is located.
It wasn't until approximately 2 hours later that they actually located Lyle in the ditch, maybe 15 to 20 feet from where they were standing in the middle of the road. The way the ditch was located made it very difficult to see the bottom of the ditch, and so they were not able to locate the body because of the darkness and the way the lights were. We even had a dog in the area that we called out, and the dog was also unable to find the body, but eventually a rescue worker had walked upon it.
Investigators are stunned as they try to wrap their heads around the horrific sight before them. As they wait for the medical examiner to arrive, they can't help but ask themselves, could Lyle have died by suicide? Or is there something more malicious going on in the quiet town of Petoskey?
Putting knives to the throat of Lyle and basically threatened to kill him.
They were looking for a .38 revolver, a murder weapon.
There was highlighted pages on how to cover up evidence.
What does searching for a Medicare plan feel like?
It's kind of confusing.
It's so complicated.
You just get bombarded every day.
We get tons of mail, tons of calls. It's annoying.
It's a pain. It's really difficult.
It's daunting.
eHealth is a less stressful way to find health insurance. To prove it, we found people looking for a new Medicare plan, and we monitored everyone's stress. Your mission today is to find a Medicare Advantage plan that fits you. Half did it by searching the usual way. So on this side, you all get to use everything on the whole internet, except for eHealth. The other half did it by matching with eHealth. On this side, you guys all get to use eHealth.com. You can even call eHealth. On your mark, get set, go find a Medicare match. And you can find your Medicare match by calling this number. You'll speak to an advisor at eHealth who wants to help save you money. Or get started at eHealth.com. Now, let's talk about why you'd want to call eHealth. Maybe it feels like you pay too much for too little. Maybe your current plan is changing, or your needs are changing. Either way, now is the time of year you can do something about it. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your prescriptions, your pharmacy, and your budget. Compare your current plan to newer plans, and compare them side by side. Because eHealth carries plans from the nation's top insurance companies. The same plans at the same price as them. They pay us to help you find a match. That's how eHealth is always a free service. So, find your match and enroll any way you like. Call and speak to a real-life advisor, or get started at eHealth.com. Now, let's check in on those two groups, searching and matching. How's everybody doing? Searching side?
Trying.
How much time do we have? I mean, this could take days. This
It could
could days.
eHealth side, are you making some matches?
What I really like about this is that it told me this is my top pick and told me why.
This is great. This is really slick.
For people searching the usual way, stress levels stayed high. For those using eHealth, stress went down.
It was so simple compared to what she went through.
I loved it. Thumbs up.
I was able to immediately, within a few minutes, pull up the best plans for me.
It gives you the opportunity to compare side by side the various plans.
Of the top 3, I found 2 that were better than the ones I got.
Well, I learned that I have sort of been ripping myself off with my current plan.
Looking like they could possibly save me quite a bit of money.
Compare all-in-one plans, all in one place. eHealth.
Call 1-800-806-9103 or go to ehealth.com to compare Medicare plans in your area.
eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker. I love what I do, which is help people make the switch to consumer cellular. Like our customers, Courtney and Jackie.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Consumer Cellular gives you access to a fast, reliable, nationwide network for up to half the cost of big wireless.
My previous provider was terrible.
Why are we paying this much for our cell phone bill? It's crazy, right?
Dropped calls or missed calls. To me, that was just normal.
We wouldn't get to talk to a person. Now with Consumer Cellular, no problems.
Our reception is so much better with Consumer Cellular. It's been amazing.
I just made a road trip across half the country and I did not have one dropped call.
Better customer service. They tell me exactly what I'm paying and why I'm paying for it.
And here's my favorite part. You can save up to half on your bill.
That's within $1 of being half of my old bill.
I was paying $145 a month for one line. Now I pay $55 a month for 2 lines.
With Verizon, I was paying about $150 a month. With Consumer Cellular, I'm paying about half that.
I'm getting the exact same coverage for half the price. That's a beautiful thing.
Done deal.
We'll set you up with the best plan for you and help you wrap things up with your old provider. It all takes about 20 minutes.
Switching over took about 20 minutes. That's it.
Consumer Cellular customer service reps are A1, top notch.
They are so nice. You get a human being to talk to.
It's month to month. Very simple.
You're not locked in.
I got to keep my phone. I got to keep my number.
If you're thinking about switching providers, do it.
If I can do it, you can.
That's why I love Consumer Cellular. They've made it easy.
We'd love for you to enjoy our reliable nationwide coverage and the best customer service in the business. Give us a call now and start saving up to half on what you're paying now. It only takes about 20 minutes. Call 800-918-5781 to switch and save up to half with Consumer Cellular. Use code SAVE50 to save an extra $50.
On the night of October 2nd, 2012, Carl Kopikoski finds his brother Lyle's truck abandoned down a gravel road on the outskirts of town, not far from where Carl lives. He immediately calls the police, and an investigation into Lyle's whereabouts begins.
The police started investigating and a search took place, and several hours later they found his body in a ditch within 20 feet of the truck, out on the side of the road in a rural area.
The search and rescue team has passed the area several times before, but because of the terrain of the ditch, the darkness of the night, and the lights from all the vehicles, Lyle's body has initially been missed. As authorities wait for the medical examiner before moving Lyle's body, his truck is searched.
Nothing was touched. Valuable tools were located in the back of the truck. So carjacking, theft, though we couldn't rule it out, but it was highly unlikely that that was the case.
No weapons are found in or around the area. The only thing that seems strange to investigators is that the driver's seat is pulled forward to a height that doesn't match that of Lyle's, indicating that he may not have been the last person to drive his vehicle, and making the theory of suicide slightly less plausible. Police get more details from Lyle's wife, Carol. She claims Lyle's been seeing a therapist for several months now, and she doesn't rule out suicide as a means to his death. But that theory is quickly dismissed once Lyle's body is removed from the ditch.
He was lying face down, so they had not rolled the body to see if the gun was located underneath. That's when I arrived on scene, where I then rolled the body and could not find a weapon. Then I noticed that he had gunshot wounds to his back. At that point, I called it a homicide.
5 bullet wounds are discovered in Lyle's body, 4 in his back and 1 in his left temple.
It was pretty evident at the scene that Lyle had got shot on the side of the road and at some point rolled in or pushed into the ditch. He did have gunshot wounds to the side of his head, and we felt that that was the last gunshot that had killed him.
It's not apparent that he was in a fight, it was apparent that he was intentionally murdered.
Due to where he was located and where the truck was located, my thought at that point was that he was running away, and that at some point he had seen the gun and he was running away from the threat.
Now, with the murder investigation underway, the questions begin piling up. But the one thing on everyone's mind is, where is the gun that killed Lyle Kopinkoski?
Recovering a firearm with this particular case, it is close to solving the crime. That firearm will tell you a lot of things before the analysis. Who owned it, if any prints on it, anything like that.
Investigators continue examining the scene, sweeping for evidence of any kind, for the murder weapon, or for any bullet casings, but nothing is found.
There could be 2 reasons why there are not gunshot cases. One, the shooter could have picked them up. Most of the time, it's not likely, but the shooter could have picked them up. Second, could have been a revolver. The revolver is where the casings stay in the cylinder. They're not discharged. So, if I were to put my eggs in a basket, I would say the gun was used was a revolver.
The only hope now is in the hands of the medical examiner. If a bullet is lodged in Lyle's body, that could help authorities confirm that a revolver was in fact the weapon used to murder Lyle. Investigators take their questions of firearms to Carol, who confirms there are 2 in the Kopinkoski household: a .380 handgun and a small caliber rifle. Authorities ask about a revolver, but Carol denies having one, claiming there are no other weapons in her possession. The guns are taken for processing and to rule Carol out as a suspect.
In a homicide, everybody's a suspect at that point. So we didn't have any concrete information. We didn't have anybody dancing in the street waving their hands saying they did it. And of course, in that type of situation, the first person you want to speak to is a spouse to lock in key information.
Do you know what has transpired at the scene? No. Okay, you don't know that. We had the crime lab come up, and he has multiple gunshot wounds. Okay? No, I'm not kidding.
Authorities also begin speaking with the community in and around Petoskey, specifically those who knew Lyle well, all in the search for more leads. Several people come forward with information about that night. One witness comes forward, claiming to have seen a man near Lyle's truck the night of the murder.
We went up to here and we see that man walking in camo, and we're just like, it's already 9 o'clock, why is he heading out there? We didn't see him carrying any gear, and that's another thing that caused us. Why are you walking into the woods? No rifle, no bow, nothing. Nothing fit. Just that whole day, we're going through this, and man, then we get the phone call, and it's like, somebody got shot, man.
Could this man be Lyle? Or could it be the person responsible for his death? A second witness contacts police with a different accounting.
Was there any lights on inside the car or any exterior lights on the car? No. Did it appear to be running?
Nope. Like I say, it was early in the morning. I was kind of in a hurry, but I didn't notice anything abnormal. And like I say, in other words, the first thing that struck me was that someone broke down, and so I was looking for someone walking.
And you saw no one, though?
No one.
Okay.
It just seemed strange that it was pulled not just off off of the road, but then back half out. And on a slope like that,
Unfortunately, nothing substantial comes from the eyewitnesses, and investigators have yet to pinpoint a suspect or motive. But a stunning turn of events occurs when they speak to Carl, who tells police some shocking information.
There wasn't a single family member or anybody that came forward stating that Lyle had an enemy except for one, and that was John Ernst.
He believes Carol is cheating on Lyle with John Ernst, her business partner and longtime friend.
As far as Carol's affair is concerned, many people told us that she had been seeing John Ernst romantically for many years. People had seen them together, some of their friends had seen them romantically, staying together in the same room. So it was clear that Carol was having an affair, and the affair was with this John Ernst.
Lyle was very aware that Carol had been spending a lot of time with John. So aware that he had talked to Carl about it, he had talked to family members about it, he had talked to Carol about it. Carol had talked to me and admitted to me that Lyle had been asking about John on various occasions.
With the news of what appears to be a happy marriage being anything but, authorities sway their focus onto Carol's rumored lover, John Ernst. And as the investigation digs deeper and word spreads, an anonymous tip leads them to believe they may have found their main suspect.
John put a knife to the throat of Lyle Kopinowski and basically threatened to kill him.
Why should you be interested in a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan? You could be eligible to receive more benefits than original Medicare. You could have a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with a $0 or low monthly plan premium.
Plus dental, vision, and hearing coverage at no additional cost.
Plus, if you are Medicare eligible, and you also qualify for Medicaid, you could receive even more benefits with the WellCare Spendables card, with an allowance for over-the-counter health items.
Here's another important fact. Original Medicare only covers 80% of most costs, leaving you responsible for the other 20%. Those costs can really add up. A WellCare All-in-One Medicare Advantage plan can help cover some of the costs that Original Medicare does not.
Let's look closer at the benefits.
You could also receive dental coverage to help cover some of the costs of dental care. This may include checkups and cleanings.
Vision coverage. This could help pay for eye exams and even pay for new glasses or contacts if you need them.
And hearing coverage. And mental health support with Twill, a digital mental health and social support resource.
Keep in mind, Original Medicare does not include Part D, the prescription drug coverage. That is something you need to purchase separately.
WellCare's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans do include prescription drug coverage to help lower your prescription drug costs, and so much more.
Call WellCare now for an all-in-one guide for more information. WellCare Medicare Advantage plans deliver care for your body and mind, so you can live your best life possible. This includes covering the costs of preventive care services and annual tests.
Plus fitness benefits to help keep you active. You can also get telehealth services with online doctor visits. We also cover mental health services.
If you're on a fixed income, Medicare Advantage plans offered through WellCare can help you rely on set costs with no unexpected costs to help you better manage your budget.
Even with all of these added benefits, you could receive a WellCare Medicare Advantage plan with $0 or low monthly plan premiums.
Now you can understand why over 30 million Americans chose to get a Medicare Advantage plan this year.
But the company that stands behind your plan makes such a difference. WellCare has been in healthcare for more than 35 years, and WellCare is passionate about helping people get the right coverage. We contract directly with Medicare to provide plans that can help keep you active and healthy.
Let's recap. A WellCare Medicare Advantage plan can give you more benefits than original Medicare. You could receive dental, vision, hearing, and prescription coverage. You can even choose to receive those prescriptions by mail if you'd like to avoid waiting in line.
That's why you should use your phone right now to call WellCare for an all-in-one guide and for a one-on-one consultation with an experienced WellCare licensed sales agent. You can find out if your doctor is part of the large WellCare network and what benefits are available in your area.
But remember, you don't automatically receive these benefits just by being on original Medicare. That's why it's so important you call now. If you wait, you could miss out on valuable benefits you deserve.
Hi, I'm Cindy, one of the WellCare licensed sales agents you'll be speaking to when you call in today. I'll explain your Medicare options and determine what's right for your situation. We can then review WellCare Medicare Advantage plans with the benefits you are looking for. It can be an exciting process to know what benefits you are entitled to receive. Your healthcare is too important for you to not be sure you have the right plan. So grab your phone right now, give us a call. You'll be glad you did.
WellCare, the coverage you need and more.
Call the number on your screen or visit our website today.
Coming up next on True Crime Network. Police discover that Lyle Kopenkoski has been shot multiple times and that the murder weapon is nowhere to be found. After Lyle's brother, Carl, comes forward with a bit of shocking information about Lyle's wife, Carol, authorities begin to suspect that John Ernst, whom Carol is rumored to be having an affair with, may know something about Lyle's murder. An anonymous tip also comes forward about an altercation between Lyle and John, solidifying investigators' suspicions.
I don't know if you're aware of this gentleman by the name of John Ernst, who the summer before last did a family function, put a knife to the throat of Lyle Kopenkoski and basically threatened to kill him. So this gentleman, according to his entire side of the family, has quite a propensity for violence. He's known to have had some animosity and made a physical threat and held the knife to his throat.
Lyle confronted John Ernst at one point. There was a physical altercation between them. I'm very confident that Lyle was very frustrated with the fact that Carol was seeing somebody else, seeing John.
And learning that situation really piqued my interest because it was John Ernst, it was Carol's lover, and it was a knife to Lyle's throat. That's the only story I got involving Lyle in any type of altercation or having any sort of enemy.
With this startling new information, John Ernst is now high on the list of suspects. Is it possible that his rumored affair with Carol has taken a deadly turn?
I told the Detective Sumter, that we needed to interview John Ernst. The problem with the case was that John Ernst had moved out of the area, did not live in Petoskey any longer, was staying in Tennessee.
They reach out to John and inform him of Lyle's passing.
I'm confused. It wasn't health related? No. Oh. Wow. And I have to be honest with you, the reason why I'm calling you is that's rumor that you and Carol are having an affair. Yeah, it's BS. It's been going around for years. We're good friends. Right. Been friends since high school. You're absolutely certain because you're a little hesitant tonight. I'm concerned that you know something more and a little nervous to tell me. No, I knew that he wasn't feeling well. His health was an issue, but I'm stunned.
He had no knowledge about the crime He denied having an affair with her. He said that they were just friends, and he basically knew nothing about it.
Without any solid evidence to back them up, police can't pin this on John just yet.
He had a rock-solid alibi. He was in Tennessee at the time of the murder, on the day of the murder.
Police bring Carol in for another round of questioning. She retells the story of the last time she saw her husband. But as Carol speaks, officers realize something crucial. Her stories aren't matching. Originally, Carol claims she hadn't seen Lyle the evening of his murder.
The last time you saw him was when?
That morning. He left around 5:30.
But upon questioning once more, she states she returns home the evening of October 2nd, 2012, and finds Lyle acting completely erratic, wanting to go to work, even though it was the evening and he only works days.
She told me that she pulled his truck out of the garage and she allowed him, in what she claimed to be an intoxicated state, but she allowed him to get into the truck and drive to work in an unknown direction. That was odd to me. One, the fact that she had actually felt the need to pull the truck out of the garage, and two, letting your husband of many years jump in a truck and go to work highly intoxicated.
Well, we think that he was shot earlier in the night, meaning your story wouldn't be true. You see what I'm saying? There's no blood in his car, all right? There are no rounds or nothing. The driver's seat of the car is all the way up. Okay, such as a smaller person would have driven the car.
Police begin to believe Carol may know more about Lyle's murder than she's letting on.
Is there something more that you want to tell me?
I don't know what I can. I don't know anything more. I'm just upset that you would think I would do something like this. I wouldn't do it.
I didn't say that you did.
I mean, when I'm in a question like this, am I the guilty one here or what?
An autopsy is performed on Lyle. The medical team is able to extract several bullet fragments from his body, including one from his back that contains an identifiable groove pattern. The bullet is sent off for further testing, which comes back that it's from a .38 Special revolver.
Typically, a .38 is a revolver-style type of weapon, the old Chief Special type of .38. But it usually a 6-shot. .38 caliber is mid-range as far as size, but it's also very popular handgun.
A lot of people like revolvers, and it, because you don't leave any shell casings, you don't leave a trail behind, or you take it with you. Whereas a semi-automatic, you gotta look for where your shell casings are, and usually you never find them, even though they're supposed to fall right by your feet.
Yet no .38 caliber weapon is found at Carol's house, and she denies having one. Police find themselves grasping at straws once more, until another truth is revealed.
As the investigation developed, it turned out that Carol Kopenkowski had a .38 revolver, and she had told friends that it would be the perfect gun to use in a crime because it wasn't registered.
It was a family member that had seen the gun at Lyle and Carol's house, and it was at that point where Carol had mentioned that it would be a good throwaway gun in a crime.
With this shocking turn of events, police speak to Carl Kopenkowski with only one question on their minds.
Of the people in this circle of people that we know, who would most likely be the person that would hurt the gun?
Have you compared your Medicare plan recently? With eHealth, you can compare Medicare plans side by side for free. So we invited people to give eHealth a try and discover how easy it can be to find your Medicare match.
This is pretty amazing. I can go on a vacation with this money. I have quite a few prescriptions.
That's why people call us. We're going to compare plans, and I'm going to try to get you as much bang for your buck as possible.
That's great.
This one here covers all your prescriptions, your doctors as well.
Oh, wonderful.
I have a hard time with this.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for. Based on our conversation today, I would highly recommend this plan.
You're so helpful. You don't know.
I'm excited for you, sir. Again, my name is Sham. If you have any other questions, give me a ring.
Thank you very much. Oh my God, that was super easy. Oh.
See how your Medicare plan stacks up with the big changes for 2025. Just call this number or get started at ehealth.com. Compare plans that cover your doctors, prescriptions, pharmacy, and budget. And compare plans from the nation's top insurance companies. They pay us to help you. How much do you think you'll be able to save using eHealth?
At least $300 a month.
Would you say you found your Medicare match?
Yes, I did. What Sam did, she explained to me exactly what I need to know.
Well, I have a surprise for you.
Cham, come on out.
Oh my goodness! It's a pleasure to meet you today, sir.
What does it feel like to be face to face?
You helped me out quite a bit.
Call to meet your advisor. They're paid the same no matter which Medicare Advantage plan you choose. Ask them about eHealth Live Advice or get started on your own at eHealth.com. Either way, it's always a free service. See if you could get more for less with eHealth, like these folks did.
The savings are unbelievable.
I could see the costs side by side. eHealth is wonderful. $1,200 savings in my pocket. I was really pleasantly surprised with that.
Call 1-800-568-2261 or go to eHealth.com to compare Medicare plans in your area.
eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on giving you fast, reliable, nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have a flip phone, like the Iris Flip. We even have watches. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
New customers save $50 when you sign up today. Call 800-918-5494. Find us in Target or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
They were gunned down.
This is a Stone Cold Killer.
Now, determined detectives will have to trace the ballistics to track down their shooter.
We are all hands on deck.
Targeted for murder. Next on True Crime Network. On a cool October night in Petoskey, Michigan, heavy machine operator Lyle Kopenkowski is murdered in cold blood. Over the course of the investigation, authorities questioned Lyle's wife, Carol, repeatedly, but her stories from the first night don't match to her current chain of events.
Her story didn't make sense. The events of that morning, why she would have let him go to work when he was clearly intoxicated, according to her, why she didn't check on him during the day, why she didn't call him even after being informed by his work and from his brother that he had seen Lyle's truck on the side of the road at 9:30 in the evening, and earlier that day, she never called him. She never tried to make contact with him to find out if he was okay. All these things were very suspicious.
To further the case against Carol, a witness comes forward saying Carol owns a handgun that may match the bullets pulled from Lyle's body. The witness further states that Lyle was not a gun person, but Carol is.
So our first search warrant was for Carol and Lyle's primary residence on Townsend Road.
They were looking for a .38 revolver, murder weapon, and any other potential evidence that she might have been involved in the crime.
In that search, we located a couple rifles. Didn't appear to be anything to do or have anything to do with the case. We found and located a handgun case, but no handgun in it. So we found that very interesting.
They did find, however, some books that were highly incriminating, would have been part of the circumstantial nature of the case.
There was a book that I located, and in that book, there was highlighted pages of how to cover up evidence. There was another book that was used and also highlighted about toxicology and different plants and different substances that could poison or kill someone without a trace. That was pretty interesting. But of course, at that point, I didn't know, but I was starting to piece things together a little bit more.
Slowly, the community's opinion of Carol comes to light, and most of them aren't flattering.
From all accounts, Carol is manipulative, selfish, all about money. She wasn't honest or trustworthy. She was cheating on Lyle with John Ernst for years. Her phone records were pretty incriminating. Within a day or two of finding his body, she stopped talking to the police and took the Fifth Amendment. Now, while all citizens obviously have the right of silence and to not talk to the police, if you're not the murderer, why would you do that? In fact, you should be pounding down the door of the investigator, asking if there's